Hey everyone, and welcome to episode number 58 of the Australian Rock Show. My name is Dennis Gray from the Rockin' and Rollin' Gray Brothers, and today is Thursday, the 18th of August, 2016, when this show is being recorded. Let's rip straight into it with some Airbourne. Here they are with the self-titled track from their upcoming new album, Breaking Out of Hell. Airbourne there with the title track from their soon-to-be-released fourth album, Breaking Out of Hell. That album is due out 23rd of September on Spine Farm Records from out of Finland. Airbourne are currently out on the road, as they always seem to be, doing a bunch of European and Canadian dates, and have also announced some Australian dates for January of next year. Saturday the 7th of January 2017, they are at the Summer Nats in Canberra. Friday the 13th of January, they are on at the Metro Theatre in Sydney. Saturday the 14th of January, they are on at the Triffid in Brisbane. Friday the 20th of January 2017, you can see the mighty Airbourne at Track in Melbourne. Head to airbournerock.com for more info. How is everyone doing out there? Yeah, I know, I had the microphone packed away for a while. Time management issues, as I've previously mentioned, often halts the progress of this podcast. But I'll try my best to get shows out more regularly. Before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to a couple of long-time Australian Rock Show listeners, Avril Lowry and also Mark Travers, both of whom sent in recent donations. Many, many thanks. Your contributions go a long way to helping us covering our running costs. Really, really appreciate it. You too can send us a donation. Simply head to australianrockshow.com, click on the donate button and go for it. Now, a couple of folks have emailed me some time back, just reading through some email here, inviting me to check out another couple of Australian music podcasts, which I in fact did. And boy, just let me say that the fact that they occasionally play music is where the similarities end. I won't name them, but one in particular is so jingoistic, it made me cringe and vomit. Or should that be chunder? Thank you to the person who messaged me about these shows. But friend, talking about kangaroos, barbecues, meat pies and the beach is definitely not our bag. We play and promote loud, authentic, guitar-fueled rock and roll from Australia, pure and simple. The beaches of Australia are indeed beautiful, friend, but putting on the white zinc and talking about cricket is not what we do. Actually, and as you may have picked up from our past interviews, although we were born and raised on Sydney's beaches, it may as well have been out in the remote desert for all we cared, as the Gray Brothers back then were locked away in our room giving ourselves an education with tunes like this. Yeah, from 1983, that was, of course, AC/DC with Flick of the Switch. I recall getting my copy of that record from long-forgotten Sydney record store Zounds. Anyone remember that? Taking it home and playing the hell out of it. Many people don't rate that album, but I do, and if you've previously dissed it, maybe it's time to put it back on the turntable to see what you've missed first time round. You know, back in 1986, my brother purchased an album by a guy called Scott Ginn. Scott was a guy who was always on our rock and roll radar. He fronted a band called The Breakers. He was also a member of Boss, and I saw him in the late 80s fronting another great outfit called Rags and Riches. Anyway, he released this way underappreciated solo album in 1986 called One Man Army, and it stayed on my brother's turntable for weeks and weeks. I happen to know that we both still own the vinyl pressings of One Man Army, which has previously been very elusive to get a hold of. This is one of the classiest rock albums to come out of Australia, and the great news is the album's been remastered and is getting a 30th anniversary CD release. How cool is that? As a songwriter, Scott Ginn has the knack of being able to craft memorable and catchy hard rock with tons of melody. And no song is more evident of that than one called Torment in Tehran. Turn the volume up right now. Of course, we're going to hear one of my long-time favourite tracks from Scott Ginn, lifted off the soon-to-be-released 30th anniversary reissue of One Man Army. Here is Torment in Tehran. Originally released on vinyl back in 1986, remastered in 2016, and available on limited edition CD. That was Scott Ginn with Torment and Tehran. You know, hearing this sends me way back to the early to mid-80s and being immersed in the local Sydney hard rock and heavy metal scene, and being no doubt, as we've said previously, the stuff coming out of Australia back then was world class. Love, love, love that. Now, as I previously mentioned, Scott was in another outfit called Rags and Riches, a band I saw a bunch of times. I know they did a bill with the Candy Harlots one night at Banjos in Gladesville in Sydney, which is kind of ironic because the guitarist from Rags and Riches, Phil Bowley, of course formerly of bands like Shy Thunder and White Widow, would end up in the Candy Harlots soon after. But I'm getting off track. Now, Rags and Riches, and I'm quoting from their Facebook page here, were around from 1988 to 1993. The band's music was a mix of hard rock, glam metal and sleaze rock. Rags and Riches built up a strong live following on the Sydney pub circuit with their unique brand of party rock, which they called Rag and Roll. The band released one limited edition white vinyl single, Dance Baby Dance, backed with Money Can't Change Your Mind in 1991. The band's debut album was recorded at lead vocalist Scott Ginn's Montrose Studios in the early 90s, but was ultimately never formally released. But in 2016, this previously unreleased album, titled Shipwrecked Out in the Street, will finally be released as a deluxe limited edition CD with additional bonus digital content. Again, how cool is this? So great to hear some of this long-forgotten kick-ass rock and roll brought back to life. Let's get a heavy dose of some rag and roll now. Here are Rags and Riches with Dance Baby Dance. How great does that sound, Rag and Roll? Catchy as all hell. That is long-lost Sydney outfit Rags and Riches with a track called Dance Baby Dance, which, like Scott Ginn's solo album One Man Army, has been remastered and is about to be reissued on CD. Both of these albums are available for you to purchase on CD and also on digital format, should that be the way you listen to music. Find Scott Ginn, Ginn, via Facebook, or go to mazxtbandcamp.com, mazz-xt.bandcamp.com. MazXT is, of course, Scott's current musical project. CDs are only $10 plus postage, and if you want the digital album, get it via cdbaby.com/artist/mazxt, MAZZXT. Oh, and if you happen to live in Sydney, both albums will be available from Utopia Records, which I reckon is where my brother's original copy of One Man Army was purchased from back in the day. So there you go. Gigs. All right, folks, get your pens ready, cause I'm going to run through a bunch of upcoming gigs which you should be made aware of. Buffalo Revisited, featuring, of course, Dave Tice, play the Bald-Faced Stag in Leichhardt in Sydney on September the 9th. Leadfinger is out and about launching their Friday Night Heroes album. August the 19th, they are on at Sweaty Betty's in Sydney. August 20th, you can see Leadfinger at the Phoenix Bar in Canberra. 26th of August, they are on at the Lyrebird Lounge in Melbourne. 27th of August, they are on at the Retreat Hotel in Brunswick in Melbourne. September the 10th, you can see Leadfinger at the Bunker in Coogee in Sydney. The Mighty L7 finally get their Australian tour up and running after a cancellation earlier this year. See them Thursday the 6th of October at Perth, Metropolis there. Friday the 7th of October, they are on at the Gov in Adelaide. Tuesday the 11th of October, see L7 in Melbourne at 170 Russell. Friday 14th of October, go and see L7 at Eaton's Hill in Brisbane. Final date, Saturday the 15th of October, L7 hit the Metro Theatre in Sydney. Love L7. Gary Gray, formerly of Melbourne's Sacred Cowboys, along with his crack band The Sixth Circle, hit Sydney on November 18th. Gary Gray and The Sixth Circle are playing the Factory Floor in Marrickville with support from Leadfinger and Chicken Stones. Ted Mulry Gang, the reunited TMG, are celebrating their 40th anniversary with some select shows. This one's for Ted Tour will see the remaining original members together for the first time in 25 years. I remember seeing them in the early 90s at quite a few shows. They were fantastic. They started with one gig at the Bridge Hotel in Rozelle about a month back. Ted's younger brother Steve is on vocals and Mark Evans on bass. And they are sounding pretty damn amazing. Don't miss your chance to see Australian Rock and Roll Icons TMG. Saturday the 3rd of September at the Revesby Workers Club. Hey, you know what? There's a couple of clips on YouTube, courtesy of YouTube. Let's take a very quick listen to the reformed TMG running through Heart of Stone from their first show back in Sydney, back on the 16th of July. Sound quality ain't that great, but obviously it's a phone recording, but still. And then we'll list a couple more gig dates. Here at TMG. Man, I love that. I think that's my favourite all-time TMG song. TMG sounding amazing there with Heart of Stone from their gig at the Bridge Hotel in Sydney recently. Again, their next gig is on 3rd of September at the Revesby Workers in Sydney. I'll see you there. November the 12th, TMG are on at Chermside in Brisbane at the Kedron Wavell Services Club. Saturday the 19th of November, TMG are playing the Palms at Crown in Melbourne at South Bank there. So I note that Ted Murray Gang are also playing their first Newcastle show in 20 years at Belmont 16s on Saturday, December the 10th. So folks, quite a few opportunities to go and catch up and see icons of Australian music. I'm sure that they've got other dates announced. Search for Ted Mulry Gang on Facebook for more dates. And before I move on, I did note that Steve Mulry is no longer singing for Black Label, no doubt wanting to do other projects like his solo stuff, and his spot has been filled by Ali Kudrow, who had previously done time fronting AC/DC cover band She Damnation. I look forward to seeing this new lineup of the mighty Black Label soon. Okay, who's next? The Screaming Jets are hitting the road in October and November out in support of their Chrome album, which was released a few months back. Visit thescreamingjets.com.au for all their dates. Baby Animals play the Sandstone Point Hotel in Queensland 10th of September, which I think is located near Bribie Island. Jimmy Barnes plays the Enmore Theatre in Sydney on 27th of August, which I think is sold out. Owen Campbell, who I am a big fan of, is currently doing some shows in the US, but will be doing some local shows soon. You can see the amazing Owen Campbell at the Oxley Wine Bar in Cowra on the 8th of September. He's on at Coogee Diggers in Sydney on the 9th of September. Owen Campbell does a hometown gig at the Harmony German Club in Narrabundah in Canberra on the 10th of September. 15th of September, Owen is on at the Night Quarter Market on the Gold Coast. 17th of September, Owen is on at the Royal Mail at Goodna in Queensland. May I suggest you visit Owen Campbell Music, Campbell, owencampbellmusic.com for all these dates and so much more, including info on where to purchase his brand spanking new album, Breathing Bullets. This guy has so much talent and his authentic sound is indeed his own. Great songwriter, great storyteller, and in my opinion, he should be playing to bigger audiences by now and is way underappreciated. Anyway, you be the judge. Here is Owen Campbell with the title track from his new album, Breathing Bullets. Breathing Bullets there by Owen Campbell, and if you like that, and why wouldn't you, do what I did and buy it from iTunes. It cost me a couple of dollars, but you know what? It supports the artist and I own the track. Anyway, much respect for Owen Campbell. If that's an indication of what his new album is like, I cannot wait to hear it. Very classy. Go see him live and be sure to buy his new album, Breathing Bullets, direct from him at one of his gigs. Support great Australian music and support local musicians. The great Deniz Tek has a new solo record called Mean Old Twister out 30th of September, coinciding with a couple of launch shows planned as well. Let's crank the single from the album, which is titled Crossroads, and then we'll give you more gig info after that. The distinguishable and amazing guitar sound there of Deniz Tek with a brand new single called Crossroads. Does it get any better than that? No way. Deniz has a couple of record launch shows coming up. On the 7th of October, go and see Deniz Tek launching that album at the Factory Floor, 105 Victoria Road, Marrickville. The next night, on the 8th of October, you can head up to Newcastle and see Deniz Tek at the Cambridge Hotel in Hunter Street. If you want to get a hold of that single, deniztek.com is the place to do it. You can buy a 7-inch copy of Crossroads for only $10, and Deniz has Lots of other cool merch for sale, signed prints, records, t-shirts, copies of his amazing artwork, cool Radio Birdman items, and lots more. Again, deniztek.com is the place to go, and be sure to once again take note of the single launch dates on the 7th and 8th of October. In our world, guys like Deniz Tek are icons, living rock and roll treasures, and should be freaking well revered here. And these two gigs should already be sold out by now. Talking about Deniz Tek and Birdman is a nice segue into our next tune, which is the newie from the Johnny Kannis Explosion. How good is it, folks? It is 2016 and I'm airing new material from guys like Tek and Zeus Kannis. Be grateful and appreciative that these guys whom have always been a part of our rock and roll world, are still out there releasing cool rock and roll. Anyway, the new single is a cover of Elvis's 1968 tune Edge of Reality and features Jimmy Barnes. The King of Surf tackles the King. Let's do it. Out now via iTunes, Amazon and all major digital outlets. That was Johnny Kannis. Also featuring the very recognisable vocals of Jimmy Barnes with Edge of Reality. I dig that. I've spun it a few times this week and it's got me hooked. Love it. Johnny Kannis is also on Facebook if you want to find more info on that recent release. Okay, folks, it's time we got out of here. We'll try and get the next show up real soon. I know that International Podcast Day is coming up on the 30th of September, so as we did last year, we'll attempt to record a show on that day to help celebrate the coolness of podcasts. You can contact us via email at australianrockshow@gmail.com. There is a contact form on our website, but we want you guys to get more involved and want to hear from you. So tell us your thoughts on the show by sending us an audio comment to australianrockshow@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter at AusRockShow, AUS Rock Show. We are also on Facebook where we post new show links. Please share the shows to your timelines, which helps to spread the word of rock and roll. I think it would be nice to get 500 Facebook followers before the year is out. I don't think that's asking too much, so tell your friends and get them on board. Visit our website at australianrockshow.com. All the past episodes are there free for you to download and enjoy. You can hear the Australian Rock Show, AusRock's loudest and proudest rock and roll podcast via iTunes, Stitcher and also TuneIn. If you are listening in via iTunes, please do us a favour by leaving us a quick show review. Another great way to show your support is by clicking on the donation button on our homepage and contributing $5. It helps us to pay the bills and to also keep this show free. We will also play you a song of your choice. Again, our website is at australianrockshow.com. Another great way to support us is by buying a t-shirt. There are 9 designs to choose from. Some have the classic Flying V Southern Cross logo. There is one with a killer live shot of Pete Wells and Mick Cox from the Tats. Hell, you can even get one with the Gray Brothers on the front to parade around town in. Very reasonably priced. Shirts for guys and girls. The folks who produce our tees ship pretty much anywhere in the world. Head to australianrockshow.com, click on store and get busy. Folks, I'm going to end this show with some sad news. That is, a couple of days back, Steve Crofts, well-respected and really talented Australian guitar player, passed away. Steve had been struck down by Huntington's disease for many years, and like many others who follow his progress on Facebook via his wife Christina, we were shocked to learn of his passing. I feel really fortunate that I got to see Steve play live many times. He gigged in a couple of bands like Black Cat Moan and also Topaz, but it was with an outfit called the Bombers, which enabled many people to sit up and take note of his amazing ability. And I can recall many gigs where he would force his battered Strat along the mic stand right in front of your face, which would give out this wonderful slide guitar sound. I mean, I'd never heard anyone do it like that before, nor since. Great guy, great guitar player with a truly authentic sound. Rest in peace, mate. Thanks again for listening, folks. It seems timely that we will close out with some Bombers. Let's close out with a title track from their 1990 album, Aim High, one which truly highlights the ripping slide guitar work of Steve Crofts. Until next time, this is Dennis, out.